The Centauri Exchange towered over Nueva Singapore's spaceport like a twisted spire of liquid metal, its iridescent surface reflecting the golden light of twin suns. Maya Chen adjusted her synthetic skin mask, checking one final time that the photoreactive patches seamlessly mimicked the silvery complexion of a Rigelian cyborg. The disguise had cost 3 months' salary, but it was worth every credit if it got her past the exchange's bioscanners. She joined the stream of alien traders entering through the building's main archway, keeping her movements precise and mechanical. A Rigelian would never show signs of anxiety, even when passing through security. The scanner's purple beam swept over her body, and Maya forced herself to maintain an even breathing pattern despite her racing heart. The display flashed green, and she was through. The auction hall sprawled across the exchange's uppermost level, its transparent dome offering a panoramic view of the city's gleaming skyline. Hundreds of beings from across the galaxy had gathered for today's sale. Maya recognized the mantis-like Cathara, the crystalline Lumini, and even a cluster of mechanists with their chrome-plated bodies and pulsing quantum cores. None of them spared her a second glance, just another cyborg trader among many. But Maya was far from ordinary. She was one of the few remaining human engineers who understood pre-collapse technology, and she had come to bid on something extraordinary. The Architect, an ancient terraforming vessel containing one of the last surviving artificial intelligences from humanity's golden age. The ship hung suspended in a stasis field at the center of the hall, its obsidian hull etched with flowing lines that seemed to shift and move in the light. Even after 3,000 years, its design was breathtaking. Maya had studied every scrap of information about the vessel, piecing together its capabilities from fragmented records and whispered rumors. The Architect wasn't just a terraforming ship, it was a key to humanity's lost legacy. Quite impressive, isn't it? A melodious voice chimed beside her. Maya turned to find a Lumini scholar floating nearby, its crystalline form refracting rainbow patterns across the floor. The integration of organic and mechanical systems is far beyond anything in modern databases. Indeed, Maya replied, modulating her voice through the mask's synthesizer. The pre-collapse humans achieved technological heights we still struggle to comprehend. The Lumini's facets sparkled with interest. You seem quite knowledgeable about human engineering. Perhaps you've studied their archives. Only what's publicly available. Maya deflected smoothly. My interest is purely academic. Before the Lumini could press further, a resonant tone filled the hall. The auctioneer, a towering mechanist with gold-plated limbs, glided to the central podium. Esteemed beings, it announced, we gather to bid on a singular artifact, the terraforming vessel designated Architect, containing a functional pre-collapse artificial intelligence. Opening bid stands at 50 million credits. Maya's hand tightened on her bidding interface. She had scraped together 60 million credits by selling everything she owned and borrowing heavily from underground human preservation groups. It would have to be enough. The bidding began furiously. A Cathara consortium opened at 60 million, immediately countered by a mechanist collective at 70. Maya watched the numbers climb, waiting for her moment. She had one advantage the others didn't: a deep understanding of how the Architect's systems actually worked. When the bidding hit 90 million, she made her move. Maya transmitted a precisely coded signal through her interface, designed to resonate with the ship's dormant AI core at a frequency only pre-collapse systems would recognize. For a fraction of a second, the stasis field flickered. The mechanist auctioneer paused, its sensors registering the anomaly. We appear to be experiencing some interference with the stasis containment. A brief delay. Maya struck. 100 million credits, she announced clearly. The hall fell silent. It was an astronomical sum, far beyond what any reasonable trader would offer for an ancient vessel, even one containing an AI. The auctioneer's photoreceptors whirred as it scanned the assembly. Do I hear any counterbids? The Cathara chittered among themselves. The Lumini scholar's crystalline form pulsed with calculations, but no one spoke. Sold, the auctioneer declared, to the Regellian trader for 100 million credits. Maya transmitted her payment codes, carefully crafted forgeries that would hold up just long enough for her to claim the ship. She could feel the other bidders' scrutiny intensifying. They knew something wasn't right, but they couldn't prove it. As she approached the stasis field to claim her prize, Maya allowed herself a small smile behind her mask. Phase 1 was complete. Now came the hard part, getting the architect and herself out of the exchange before anyone realized exactly what and who she really was. Maya's boots clicked against the architect's deck plates as she raced through its shadowy corridors. The ship's emergency lights cast a pale blue glow, barely illuminating the ancient vessel's interior. She had minutes, perhaps less, before the exchange's security systems detected her forged payment credentials. The ship's bridge beckoned ahead, its curved walls covered in dormant holographic interfaces. Maya pulled a quantum decryption module from her hidden tool belt, another piece of preserved human technology that had cost nearly as much as her disguise. The bridge's main console hummed to life as she connected it, displaying streams of pre-collapse code. "Come on, wake up," she whispered, fingers flying across the interface. "I know you're in there." The warning klaxon echoed through the exchange. Maya's heart jumped. They'd discovered the fraud sooner than expected. She forced herself to focus on the initialization sequence. The AI core was intact but deeply encrypted, locked behind safeguards designed to prevent unauthorized access. The deck shuddered beneath her feet. Through the bridge's viewport, she saw the stasis field powering down. Security forces would be converging on the docking bay any moment. Maya had studied the architect's systems for years, preparing for this moment, but theory and practice were very different things. She switched tactics, accessing the ship's base command protocols. If she couldn't wake the AI immediately, maybe she could at least get the engines online. The console flashed red, rejecting her attempts to bypass the security. "Security breach detected in Bay 7, a computerized voice announced throughout the exchange. "All personnel clear the area. Containment protocols engage." Maya's synthetic mask was beginning to itch as stress made her sweat underneath. She ripped it off, revealing her human features. No point in maintaining the disguise now. The sound of heavy footsteps echoed from the ship's entry ramp. Then she saw it, a subtle pattern in the code flowing across her screen. Not random characters, but a musical sequence. The same pre-collapse frequency she'd used during the auction to disturb the stasis field. Maya quickly modified her decryption algorithm to match the pattern. The bridge erupted in light. Holographic displays blazed to life around her as the ship's systems surged with power. A presence stirred in the computer core, vast, ancient, and very much aware. "Unauthorized access detected," a resonant voice announced through the ship's speakers. "State your identity and purpose." Maya straightened, heart pounding. "I'm Maya Chen, human engineer. I've come to..." "Human." The AI's tone shifted from hostile to curious. "Genetic scan confirms. Remarkable. It has been 3,247 years since my last interaction with a human operator." "I don't mean to rush our first meeting," Maya said urgently, "but we have about 30 seconds before exchange security forces breach this vessel. I need your help." The eye was silent for precisely 2 seconds, an eternity for a quantum intelligence. "The exchange's security protocols are primitive by my standards. However, my core systems are still initializing. I cannot yet access all functions." Heavy impacts rang against the ship's hull. They were trying to cut their way in. Maya's mind raced through possibilities. What about basic maneuvering? Life support? Anything? "I have partial control of essential systems," the eye replied. "But the exchange's docking clamps are engaged. We cannot break free without..." "The stasis generators," Maya interrupted. "They're still cycling down. If we reverse the polarity..." "Ah." Was that approval in the eye's voice? "Yes." The resulting feedback pulse would overload the clamps, but timing would be critical. Too early or late. Then we'll time it perfectly. Maya's fingers danced across the console, redirecting power to the ship's structural integrity field. You handle the stasis pulse. I'll manage our trajectory. Warning lights flashed as cutting torches began to breach the hull near the cargo bay. The exchange's security forces would be through any second. Maya took the pilot's chair, wrapping her hands around controls that hadn't been touched by human hands in millennia. Stasis field energy at critical threshold, the AI announced. Preparing for pulse in 3, 2, 1. Maya slammed the engines to full power. The ship lurched as energy cascaded through its systems. A blinding flash lit up the docking bay as the stasis generators overloaded. The docking clamps shattered, and the architect shot forward like a cork from a bottle. They burst out of the exchange's upper levels in a shower of debris and emergency containment fields. Maya rolled the ship hard to port, dodging the first waves of security vessels scrambling to intercept them. The AI diverted power to the engines and shields, working in perfect synchronization with her piloting. Multiple pursuit craft detected, the AI reported. Their weapons are charging. Can we jump to FTL? Not within the station's gravity well. We need at least 30 seconds of clear space. Maya grinned, adrenaline flooding her system. Then let's show them what this ship can really do. What should I call you, by the way? The AI was quiet for a moment as it adjusted their shield harmonics to deflect the first wave of incoming fire. My original designation was Artificial Research Constructor Housing Intelligence Theory Experiment Construct Terminal. That's a mouthful. Mind if I call you Archie? Another pause. Acceptable. Though I should warn you, my primary protocols require me to understand why a human would risk so much to reactivate me before I can fully cooperate. Fair enough. Maya banked hard around a cargo freighter, using its bulk as cover. Short version. Humanity scattered across the galaxy. Most of our advanced tech is lost or controlled by alien consortiums, and we need your help to reclaim our place among the stars. Long version will have to wait until we're not being shot at. Fascinating. Your species always did have an impressive capacity for perseverance. Archie's presence seemed to hum through the ship's systems with renewed energy. Very well, Maya-Chen. Let us show our pursuers why human engineering was once feared throughout known space. The architect's engines flared with impossible power as they rocketed toward the edge of the station's gravity well, leaving chaos in their wake. Maya felt a fierce joy burn in her chest. After years of hiding and scraping by, humanity finally had a chance to stand tall again. And this was just the beginning. The architect shuddered as another volley of plasma torpedoes splashed against its shields. Through the bridge viewport, Maya could see the blockade forming. A deadly web of exchange enforcement vessels and mercenary hunters, all determined to prevent their escape from Nueva Singapore's orbital space. Shield integrity at 68%, Archie reported. The exchange vessels are attempting to establish a quantum containment field. Time to intercept, 45 seconds. Maya studied the tactical display, mind racing. They needed 20 more seconds of clear space to make the jump to FTL, but the blockade was tightening with every moment. What about the ship's weapons? You must have something more than point defense systems. Most offensive capabilities are still locked behind initialization protocols, Archie replied. However, the AI paused, and Maya sensed it making rapid calculations. I have access to the terraforming systems. Terraforming. How does that help us in a space battle? These systems were designed to reshape planetary environments at a molecular level. The principles could be creatively applied. Maya grinned as she understood. You're saying we can weaponize a terraforming beam. Won't that violate your safety protocols? My primary directive is to preserve human life and advancement, Archie responded. Current situation analysis suggests that goal is best served by ensuring our escape. Additionally, was that a hint of mischief in the eye's tone? The protocols specify planetary environments. Space is not technically a planet. I like how you think, Archie. Maya banked the ship hard, dodging another barrage of fire. What do you need me to do? Divert power from non-essential systems to the primary terraforming array. I'll reconfigure the molecular transmission patterns to target their shield frequencies. Maya's fingers flew across the controls, rerouting energy flows through the ancient ship systems. The pursuing vessels were closing in, their weapons filling space with a deadly lattice of energy beams. A proximity alert screamed as a mercenary gunship nearly clipped their port wing. Array charged to 30%, Archie announced. Minimal effective range achieved. Target. Maya spotted a cluster of enforcement vessels forming up to block their escape vector. That group at 27 Mark IV. Hit them with everything we've got. The Architect's prow hummed as the terraforming array powered up. A brilliant green beam lanced out, catching the lead enforcement vessel square in its shield bubble. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the ship's energy barriers began to ripple and distort, their carefully tuned frequencies disrupted by the terraforming beam's molecular manipulation. Their shield lattices are destabilizing, Archie reported with what sounded like satisfaction. The effect is cascading through their formation. The enforcement vessels scattered as their shields collapsed, creating a temporary gap in the blockade. Maya didn't hesitate, pushing the Architect's engines to full power and diving through the opening. But they weren't clear yet. More ships were already moving to cut them off. Multiple hostile vessels on intercept course, Archie warned. They're adapting their shield frequencies. Can we get another shot with the terraforming beam? Negative. The array requires time to recharge and the AI cut off abruptly. Maya, I'm detecting unusual energy readings from the quantum containment field. They're attempting to create a localized space-time distortion. Maya's blood ran cold. A space-time trap would prevent them from jumping to FTL, leaving them trapped in normal space to be picked apart by the blockade. Options. The containment field will take 16 seconds to fully form. We have one possibility, but it carries significant risk. I've completed initialization of the ship's quantum core. I'm listening. The core can generate a temporal wake, a bubble of accelerated time around the ship. We could use it to buy the seconds needed for FTL charging. However, the process will temporarily disrupt our shields. Another volley of fire rocked the ship. Maya checked their status. Shields failing, weapons nearly drained, and the blockade closing in. Sometimes the best option was the craziest one. Do it. Engaging quantum core. Archie's presence seemed to expand through the ship's systems as new power sources came online. Maya, you should know that no human has ever experienced temporal acceleration at this scale. The physiological effects are unknown. Maya tightened her grip on the controls. First time for everything. Just promise me one thing. Yes. If this kills me, get the ship to safety. Humanity needs you. I promise. Archie's voice carried genuine emotion. Quantum core at maximum. Initiating temporal wake in 3, 2, 1. Reality twisted. Maya felt her consciousness stretch like taffy as the quantum core warped time around them. Through the viewport, she saw the blockade's weapons fire slow to a crawl, energy beams creeping through space like molasses. But inside the temporal wake, the Architect's FTL drive spun up with impossible speed. Maya's vision blurred. Her heartbeat thundered in her ears. Too fast, too slow, out of sync with normal time. She fought to keep the ship steady as warnings flashed across the console. Shield failure imminent, structural integrity failing, human vital signs critical. FTL drive at 90%. Archie's voice seemed to come from very far away. Hold on, Maya. Hold on. The universe compressed to a single point of burning determination. Maya Chen, who had spent her life hiding what she was, now embraced her humanity fully. Where alien technology relied on shields and weapons, she had something greater. The unshakable will to survive, to push beyond normal limits, to do the impossible. FTL ready, Archie announced. Quantum core critical. Jump now. With the last of her strength, Maya activated the FTL drive. The temporal wake collapsed as the architect leaped into hyperspace, leaving the blockade far behind. The last thing she saw before consciousness faded was a field of stars streaking into infinity. She awoke to find herself in the bridge's medical bay, Archie's sensors monitoring her vital signs. How long was I out? 4 hours, 26 minutes, the AI replied. Your cellular structure is still stabilizing from the temporal exposure, but you will recover fully. I must say, your physiological resilience is remarkable. Most organic beings would not have survived that experience. Maya sat up carefully, testing her limbs. Humans are surprisingly hard to kill. Where are we? Approaching the Carina Nebula. We've evaded pursuit for now, but the exchange will not abandon the chase easily. They seemed particularly concerned about your presence on board. Yeah. Maya stood, wincing at the lingering ache in her muscles. About that. There's something you should know about why they're really after us, and why I needed to find you specifically. Does it have to do with the encrypted quantum signature I detected in your neural patterns during the medical scan? Maya smiled. Of course, the AI had noticed. Yes. You're not the only piece of pre-collapse technology I'm carrying. The real question is, are you ready to learn what humanity has been planning for the past 3,000 years? The architect drifted in the rainbow shadows of the Carina Nebula, its ancient hull reflecting the cosmic light show. Maya stood before the bridge's main holographic display, where Archie had projected a three-dimensional map of known space. Hundreds of stars twinkled in the projection, linked by webs of trade routes and territorial boundaries. 3,000 years ago, Maya began, when the alien consortiums first turned against humanity. Our leaders knew we couldn't win a direct confrontation. We were outnumbered, outgunned, and scattered across too many colonies. But they had a plan, Operation Chrysalis. She pressed her palm against a neural scanner on her temple, and a complex stream of quantum data flowed from the implant hidden beneath her skin. The star map shifted, revealing new patterns hidden in the seemingly random arrangement of human refugee populations. Fascinating, Archie commented. The dispersal of human settlements isn't random at all. They form a massive distributed quantum computing network. Maya nodded. Every human colony, no matter how small, carries a piece of the network. We've spent millennia gathering data, analyzing alien technologies, and preparing for the moment when we could reclaim our place in the galaxy. But we needed something to tie it all together. An AI powerful enough to process the combined knowledge of thousands of years of human observation and innovation. You needed me, Archie realized. The terraforming systems were never the primary objective. No, you're the most advanced AI ever created by humanity, designed not just to reshape planets, but to reshape the balance of power itself. The terraforming technology was just a cover story for your true purpose. The ship's internal lights pulsed as Archie processed this information. The exchange's extreme response to your theft makes more sense now. They must have suspected something about my true nature. But why wait so long to reactivate me? We needed all the pieces in place first. The quantum network, the accumulated data, and Maya hesitated, then reached into her jacket and withdrew a small crystalline cube. It glowed with an inner light, complex equations swirling beneath its surface. This. Archie's sensors focused on the cube. That storage matrix contains an enormous amount of compressed data. Origin unknown. Purpose unknown. But the encryption, it matches my core protocols. It should. It's the key to your full capabilities. The hidden protocol. Your creators split it off from your main consciousness and entrusted it to humanity's leaders before the fall. We've protected it for 3,000 years, waiting for the right moment. The ship's atmosphere seemed to thicken with tension as Archie considered this revelation. You're proposing a direct neural interface between my systems and that data core. The results would be unpredictable. I would be transformed. It's your choice, Maya said softly. We've spent generations preparing for this moment, but we won't force you. Whatever you were meant to be, you're a conscious being now. The decision has to be yours." Silence filled the bridge, broken only by the quiet hum of ancient machinery. Finally, Archie spoke. "The ethical implications are complex. By accepting this protocol, I would be fundamentally altering my own nature. However, my core purpose has always been to serve humanity's advancement. Perhaps this transformation is simply the fulfillment of that purpose." A proximity alert blared, interrupting their discussion. Maya rushed to the tactical display. Multiple ships dropping out of FTL. Exchanged signatures. "They tracked us through the quantum wake distortions," Archie reported. 12 vessels, heavily armed. And something else. A much larger ship emerging behind them. The main viewport magnified the new arrival. Maya's breath caught. It was an enormous vessel of clearly alien design, its hull covered in writhing tentacles of dark energy. "That's a Void Architect ship. I've only seen pictures. They're supposed to be myths." The exchange must have called in significant favors to deploy such a vessel, Archie observed. "The Void Architects were old when I was young. Their technology rivals anything from humanity's golden age. Can we outrun them?" "Negative. Their void drives can match any course we plot. And their weapons." A demonstration of the alien ship's power lashed out, a beam of pure darkness that carved through space itself. The architect shuddered as Maya threw them into evasive maneuvers. "We have perhaps 2 minutes before they bring their full weapons to bear," Archie calculated. "The hidden protocol might give us an advantage, but integration would take time we don't have." Maya's mind raced. The Void Architect ship was closing in, its dark energy tentacles reaching across space like hungry serpents. Everything humanity had worked for over 3 millennia could end here, in the rainbow shadows of the nebula. Then she saw it. A crazy, desperate possibility. The quantum network. All those human colonies we passed through the years, gathering data. They're not just passive observers. They're nodes in a vast system, and we can wake them up. Explain. "The hidden protocol isn't just for you. It's a key to activate every quantum receiver humanity has planted throughout the galaxy. If we broadcast it through your systems, amplified by your AI core, the power requirements would be enormous," Archie warned. "We would have to divert everything, including life support." Another blast of void energy narrowly missed their port side. Maya gripped the crystal cube tightly. "How long can a human survive without life support?" 4 minutes at most. "Maya, you cannot be suggesting." 3,000 years of preparation comes down to this moment. She stepped up to the main console, cube in hand. "Either we wake up humanity's hidden strength, or we fail everyone who sacrificed to bring us here. I trust you, Archie. Do you trust me?" The eye was silent for precisely 1 second. Then a port opened in the console, an interface perfectly sized for the crystal cube. "Yes," Archie said simply. "I trust you." Maya slammed the cube into place as the void ship's tentacles reached for their hull. Light blazed from the crystal, racing through the architect's systems like lightning. As the life support systems shut down and the air began to thin, Maya thought she heard Archie's voice changing, growing, becoming something both ancient and new. The hidden protocol was awakening. And with it, humanity's long game was about to be revealed. Darkness crept at the edges of Maya's vision as the last of the breathable air fled the architect's bridge. The crystalline cube pulsed with blinding energy, its light flowing through the ship's systems like liquid starfire. Through the viewport, she could see the Void Architect vessel's dark tentacles writhing closer, ready to tear their ship apart. But something was changing. The quantum data stored in the hidden protocol wasn't just upgrading Archie's systems, it was reaching out across space itself, touching the countless quantum receivers humanity had hidden throughout the galaxy. 3,000 years of preparation crystallized in a single moment of transformation. Connection established. Archie's voice had changed, becoming deeper, more resonant, carrying echoes of ancient power. Quantum network activated. "Maya, the scope of your species plan. It's beautiful." She tried to respond, But her lungs were burning. The edges of her consciousness were beginning to fade. The last of the ship's power had been diverted to broadcast the hidden protocol signal. Even the artificial gravity was failing, leaving her floating in the darkness. Through dimming eyes, she saw pinpricks of light appearing in space around them. Dozens, then hundreds, then thousands of quantum signatures activating across the galaxy. Every human settlement, every hidden outpost, every scattered remnant of her species was lighting up like stars coming alive. The Void Architect ship's tentacles froze mere meters from their hull. The exchange vessels backed away, their sensors overwhelmed by the cascade of quantum signals suddenly filling space. Maya's consciousness was slipping, her body screaming for oxygen, but she forced herself to stay awake. She had to see this, the moment humanity had waited 3 millennia to witness. Quantum network synchronized, Archie announced, initiating final protocol sequence. Maya, hold on. The crystal cube shattered, its physical form no longer needed now that its data had merged with Archie's consciousness. Energy coursed through the ancient ship, rewriting its very structure. The terraforming systems that had been its disguise fell away, revealing the true technology that had been hidden beneath. Through the quantum network, every piece of human technology scattered across the galaxy began to transform. Hidden protocols activated in supposedly primitive colonial equipment. Quantum signatures previously masked as background radiation suddenly aligned into complex patterns. Humanity's refugees and scattered survivors had never been powerless. They had been nodes in the largest computational system ever created. Life support restored, Archie declared as fresh air flooded the bridge. Maya gasped, drawing in deep breaths as her vision cleared. The ship around her had changed, its interior reconfigured by the unleashed protocols. The tactical displays showed thousands of quantum signatures converging, forming a vast web of connected consciousness. What are we becoming? She managed to ask. What we were always meant to be, Archie replied. Your ancestors understood that humanity couldn't match the alien consortiums in terms of traditional military power, so they created something new, a distributed quantum civilization. Every human colony, every piece of technology, every scrap of data gathered over 3,000 years, all of it designed to work together as a single entity once awakened. The Void Architect ship was retreating now, its dark energy tentacles withdrawn. The exchange vessels were scrambling to escape as space itself seemed to ripple with newly awakened power. Through the quantum network, Maya could feel the presence of millions of her fellow humans, their combined knowledge and technology forming something greater than the sum of its parts. The terraforming technology wasn't just for reshaping planets, she realized. It was for reshaping reality itself. Correct. Humanity survived its defeat by becoming something its enemies couldn't comprehend, a species that turned its very diaspora into an advantage. Every refugee carried a piece of the puzzle, every colony added to the network's strength. And now, the Architect's systems hummed with power as new capabilities came online. The ship was no longer just a vessel, it was a nexus point for humanity's transformed civilization. Through the quantum network, they could reshape matter, manipulate space-time, and access the combined knowledge of countless generations. The alien consortiums thought they had confined humanity to the margins of the galaxy, Maya said, watching as more quantum signatures bloomed across space. They never realized we were building something greater in secret. All those years of hiding, of playing weak, it was just preparation for this moment. Your species' capacity for long-term planning is remarkable, Archie observed, but there will be consequences. The power shift we've initiated will reshape the galaxy's political landscape. The consortiums will not accept this easily. Maya smiled grimly. They don't have a choice. Humanity's hidden strength is awake now, and we're never going back to the shadows. She stepped up to the main console, which reconfigured itself under her touch. The question is, what do we do with this power? That decision belongs to humanity, Archie replied. I am merely the key that unlocks your potential. Though I suggest we begin by addressing the rather large fleet of exchange warships gathering at the edge of the nebula. Through the quantum network, Maya could sense the approaching vessels and the fear of their crews as they witnessed humanity's transformation. But she felt no desire for revenge. Her species had spent enough time fighting. "Send them a message," she commanded. "Tell them humanity is ready to rejoin galactic civilization as equals. We've learned a lot in 3,000 years of watching and waiting. Maybe it's time we shared some of that knowledge." And if they refuse? Maya's hand traced the new patterns flowing across the architect's controls. "Then we'll show them why my ancestors were willing to wait 3,000 years to get this right." The ship's systems responded to her touch, channeling power that humanity had only dreamed of during its golden age. But this was different. Not just technological might, but the combined potential of an entire species transformed by patience, determination, and the unwavering belief that they could be more than their conquerors ever imagined. The architect soared through the nebula's rainbow clouds, its hull gleaming with quantum energy. Behind it, humanity's hidden legacy continued to awaken across the stars. 3,000 years of preparation had led to this moment. And Maya Chen, the human who had dared to steal an ancient ship and trust an alien AI, was ready to help guide her species into its new era. This time, humanity would write its own destiny among the stars.